Hey guys, today we're going to be doing a video talking about the top 10 S partners. I'll be going over basically all their star stats, their abilities, and why I think I rank them where I rank them. Now, just as a disclaimer, I will be making a top 10 partners in general, which will include all the SS partners. Since they're not all out right now, I really didn't want to make a video on all of them, but I did decide to make one on the S partners because people have been asking me a lot in the comments to do one of these, and since basically all of them are out besides the new Gaara and Mifune, I decided to rank them. Now Mifune is on the list because his star stats and his abilities are just really good. And to draw a line between all of this, I will be saying that to judge all of these partners, I will be doing them at all 8 star. I'll be looking at what their star set gives them at 8 star just so it is a consistent and well ranked list. Now before we get started, I feel like I should say this. This isn't a 100% list where everything is nothing but complete fact. A lot of this will be opinion based off abilities and how good they seem in battle. This isn't just pure strength. This is just usefulness overall. With all their abilities, it's not who does the most damage. The list that I'll be making that is basically the 100%, all of them are what they are ranked, will be out in maybe a month. I will be waiting until all of the characters come out, and I'll be talking with a lot of people on Discord trying to get a good ranking. But yeah, besides that, let's just get started with the video. First we have number 10, which is Orochimaru. Orochimaru, his feathers are pretty good, but his ultimate is 60 seconds long. It doesn't even do that much. The poison is pretty good, but overall Orochimaru is not as good as all the other attacks. Like, he's nowhere near as good as Jiraiya. His star stats aren't that good, to be honest, and even his 8 star star stat is not that good. So after looking at him, he does deserve to be on the list, but he definitely does not deserve to be any higher. Now for number 9, we have Sarutobi. Sarutobi is probably the best S tank, but the problem with tank is that it's not that good. Compared to all the other classes like support, attack, and control, tank is definitely the most useless. They don't even tank that much damage, and they don't really do any damage. The only reason why Sarutobi is on this list and above Orochimaru is because his ultimate is really good, the super armor is very solid, and then his star stats are also really good. The fact that he can reduce damage and inflict burn on people, and he damages all his enemies with burn, is really good. His feathers are pretty decent. They're not that hard to get compared to much other people's feathers who are like extremely difficult to get. Sarutobi is pretty good. Plus he's Yang, so that is a very big bonus. Same with Orochimaru, he's Yin. So the fact that if you're Yin or Yang, you do have a significant boost because all the other elements honestly aren't that good, while Yin and Yang have insane bonuses and they're really good in general. For number 8, we have Might Guy for the Gate of View, so the new Might Guy. And this guy's actually like pretty good. His abilities are unbelievably solid. He has so much passives on his abilities. His star stats are extremely good, especially his 8 star stat, which is every 5 seconds he gains super armor for 5 seconds. Increase rate, crit rate by 30%, and then it also increases crit damage by 100%. And that means that this is continuously on. It happens every 5 seconds and it lasts for 5 seconds. So he will have this at all times, which that's like the main reason why I put it here. Plus his ultimate gives him 20% additional damage and then 30% increased damage. He does a lot, and then every time that he hurts him, he has a chance to increase the enemy's damage taken by 20% for 3 seconds. His ultimate is only a 40-second cooldown, and he applies burn, which burn is really good. Now number 7 is Mifune. Mifune is the only partner that I put on here that actually is not out yet. But just looking at his abilities and his star stats, he is definitely going to be top tier. The fact that he can just execute enemies who are below 15% HP, like that's really good. If you're below 15% HP and he just auto attacks you, you die. You just straight up die. The only problem with him is that he's wind. That's really annoying, but the fact that we also have Danzo makes wind way more viable. His ultimate also deals 1,023% damage, and while preparing for this attack, he gains super armor and 100% damage reflection. And the attack is guaranteed to have a critical strike. So that is unbelievably good. Plus he's attack. Mifune is definitely going to be a person to look out for. He's going to be very strong, but like I said before, he's wind. That's kind of annoying, but all of his abilities are just really, really good. Plus, he makes you bleed and slows you with his normal ability, which that's just solid. So everything about Mifune sounds really good. I can't wait for him to come out. I'm not going to use him because I have a full yin and yang like god team. So there's really no reason to use Mifune for me. Mifune is more of a person to use if you're in the early game or if you just don't have a really god team, like god tier team. Sadly, we don't know his feathers yet, so I couldn't put him any higher. His feathers could be really bad for all we know, so then I couldn't... If his feathers are really trash, of course I can't put him that high up. Next, we have Danzo at rank 6. Now, if you guys saw my Danzo video, you will know that I actually really love Danzo. The fact that he does 10% max HP to a target just sounds really good. Plus, he does bleed damage, and he silences them for 8 seconds. So his ultimate stops any boss ultimate, which is a very good thing to have. His normal ability does a lot of damage. It also does bleed. His star stats are really good. In fact, I would say his star stats are my favorite thing about him. At 8 star stat, when his HP drops below 10%, he gains invulnerability for 1 second and brings his HP back up to 100%. And this is only a 60-second cooldown. So as long as your Danzo is pretty tanky in 8 star, he will never die in a fight. He gets low, he just goes right back up to full HP. And then 60 seconds later, if he gets low again, he goes right back up to full HP. The only way to beat Danzo when he's 8 star is to kill him immediately. You need to like get him to use his star set. Then once he's on a 60-second cooldown, you need to kill him as fast as possible. Because if you don't kill him in 60 seconds, he's just gonna go right back up to full HP. So this is why I think Danzo is really good. In fact, I kind of wanted to put him higher up, but I decided against it because all of the top 5 are really, really god tier. The fact that Danzo's wind made me put him a little bit lower. Honestly, if Danzo was yin or yang, I might have put him above Pain, to be honest. He is really, really good at 8 stars. Next, we have Pain at number 5. Pain has always been a very, very good partner. He's always been S tier. He does a lot of damage. But the only problem with him is that his star set. He basically at the start of every match makes everyone walk away and they're feared and they walk around. And because of this, you can't get like a really good Itachi ult and you can't really get a good like Minato ult because usually you can use it and it'll hit like all of them. But since Pain does this, it really fucks with your combos and makes everyone run away. Because of that, I put Pain a bit lower. But honestly, he is still really good. He does really good damage. He's got good feathers. He's got really good abilities. If you have Pain, you should 100% use him. Plus, he's Yin. Yin is probably my favorite element, and I also really like Yang. On this account, I'm going Yang, but honestly, I would recommend going full Yin. That does really good and has really good partners. Now for number 4, we have Tsunade. I put her above Pain simply because she does a little bit of damage, but she heals a lot, and that is very, very important in late game. Having a person who heals you, especially because her star set heals a lot, and her abilities heal a lot. So the fact that her entire purpose is to heal your team honestly makes her really good. I put her up here simply because she's also Yin. She will make sure your team doesn't die. She does good damage, and she snares them with her normal ability. So with all of this, I decided to put her as number 4 above Pain, and her feathers are pretty decent. So overall, I'll say Tsunade is probably the best support. Obviously not including Strength of 100 Sakura, because Strength of 100 Sakura is a hero and she's extremely good. That's why she is only VIP. But yeah, Tsunade, very good. I would very recommend you using her. Now, this is when it gets a little bit harder because now we're on number 3. I would say it's definitely Jiraiya because the other two, honestly, are in like a league of their own. Number 1 is obviously number 1. There's no one who beats him. Number 2 is a very close second, but Jiraiya is very, very solid. He has range, so he does good damage while being attacked. His all of his abilities do fire damage, which if you use Sasuke, or basically anyone that does fire, like Obito, Sarutobi, anyone who produces fire, if you use them with Jiraiya, it is really good. His star stats are pretty decent. He does good damage. His shield helps him out a lot, and his feathers are honestly pretty good. His feathers are pretty easy to get, and they do a lot for you. In general, Jiraiya is a very, very solid person. I put him above Tsunade because he does a lot, I mean a lot of damage. Plus he is ranged, and he is Yang. Like I said before, having Yin or Yang just makes you very, very good. That's why most people on this list is Yin and Yang. Now for number 2, we have Minato. Minato is extremely good. Probably one of my favorite partners in this game, of course, besides number 1. His ultimate is only 25 seconds for a cooldown, and it paralyzes him. Plus his normal ability will make the boss stop channeling using his ultimate. So that is very good. His star stats are really good. His feathers are really good. He's Yang. Everything about Minato is just an extremely solid pick to have. If you're going Yang and you don't have Minato, I really don't know what you're doing. He is simply one of my favorite partners and does one of the most damage in the game. He'll do everything that you need him to do. Now we have number 1. Of course, it's Itachi. Itachi is easily the best S partner in the game. He will do every single thing you require of him. His star stat is insane. It gives him good damage, it gives him crit, and it gives every single ally 20% lifesteal for 5, like every 10 seconds with 8 star gives them 20% lifesteal for 5 seconds. So basically, half of the time they have lifesteal. That is, I can't even explain to you how good that is. Plus, his normal ability gives him even more lifesteal, and his ultimate is probably my favorite ultimate in the game. Everything about Itachi just screams God tier. He is easily the best partner. I don't know what you're doing if you don't have Itachi. I heard this meme in the Discord where do you really have a lineup if you don't have Itachi? Every single account that I've owned, I've used him. There's really no point in not using Itachi. And honestly, when people ask me what they should have in the lineup and they send me it and they don't have him, I kind of just like look at him and go, why don't you have Itachi? I know he was paywall for a bit, but he got a spin event, so you can get him free to play now. I honestly don't know why you wouldn't save up for him. He is just simply built different. So yeah, that was the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with anything that I said. Like I told you guys before, in probably less than a month, I'll be making the 100% like truth video that talks about what is the best partners to have in the game. But I want all of them to come out, so I made this quick video to explain basically my point of view and how I see all the people. I, of course, gave you guys evidence to why I believe that. I showed you guys their abilities, what they did, and why. But yeah, let me know if you guys enjoyed. That's all. I hope you guys have a good day, and goodbye.